Welcome to Buzzing About Romance Happy Hour. I am Becky, and I am joined by co-host Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hello.
And we are super excited to welcome author Kennedy L. Mitchell tonight. Welcome
Yay.
back.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. You guys always have so much fun.
We love chatting with you. We're excited to have you here. Um,
Yes.
as Heather saw the calendar coming out and saw your name, she was like, "Back up, bitches, it's mine."
That is
Love
correct.
it.
She's like, I'm in. I'm like, oh, okay, friend, got it, got
Okay,
it.
okay. Calm down, calm down.
Um, so we are super excited. We are here. Today's your release day.
It is. It has been such a fun day, and I've seen so many people post and respond, and it's been a really good day. Sometimes release days can be super stressful because you never know if there's going to be a technical glitch, like with Amazon, or who's
Right.
going to like the book and who's not. But today's been really, really good.
Yeah, I saw tons of posts and lots of great reviews on this title. So I'm super excited that we get to talk to you about it.
Yes.
But this will be a spoiler-free chat because we are very excited for this title and want everyone to go out and check it out ASAP.
Yes.
Um, so tonight we are celebrating Kennedy Mitchell and her latest release of
I
Mine,
have a paperback of it.
Mine to
Ooh.
Share. It's a
Ooh.
nice paperback.
Mhm.
I love these guys.
Um, and this is book 7 in her Protection series. Um,
Yes.
okay, so I want to tell you when I went through my notes, I originally had this as book 8. That's because I counted the novella.
Yeah,
So just so you know, that's where I came up with the random number of 8
it's all
originally.
right. I have to go back and I start counting on my fingers. I'm like, hold on. There was 3, then I'm like, okay, wait. This should be a lot easier.
So rules of the night, you can ask all the questions in the chat. We'll do our best to answer them. If you're watching this on the rewatch, because we will leave this up on the YouTube, just leave a comment and let us know what you think. If you have any other questions, we can also pass those forward to Kennedy and get those answered for you. In the description of the video are all the links to all the places to connect with Kennedy. You can also check out our website at buzzingaboutromance.com. Um, okay, well, first let's kick this off in our traditional way. What are you having to drink tonight, Kennedy?
Red wine,
Red
my
wine.
go-to. Yep.
Yum.
Even though it's hotter than Hades outside, I still have my red wine. I have a bottle of chilled white wine in the fridge, and it still doesn't call to me like red wine.
That's fair.
I'm sweating, but it's okay. I
It's
still drink
okay.
it.
I'm also a red wine drinker, so I respect that. I get
Yeah.
that. Heather, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm just drinking Mountain Dew. I almost had coffee, but this was quicker.
This was quicker. I'm just drinking water. Shout out to Shauna for my tumbler. She's been like, you know, making me fall into the tumbler chaos. So
Yeah.
I don't need tumblers.
Can I see it a little bit closer?
Yeah, it's one of the Simply Moderns
Yeah,
with
it's
several
pretty, and I like all your stickers.
things. Well, speaking of stickers, that's what I was gonna say. Um, Kennedy was our sponsor this month for the Buzzing About Romance Patreon swag pack. So she sent bookmark and sticker, and there was another card, I think, too, wasn't there?
I think so. Maybe.
Hmm.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
that
Yeah,
that was
I
like
forgot.
in February. It feels like it was like forever ago.
No, you know what?
It was last month.
It was so funny. I asked people, like I sent authors emails and said, "Hey, we're trying something a little different. We'd love to have authors that want to sponsor our swag packs, and then you'll be episode sponsors for the whole month." And I had such great response. Like it was
Good.
amazing the response that I had. And so then it was like, okay, 2 authors a month. Um, because I don't want to be like
Yeah.
we would be promoting books that people sent me stuff for like next August or something for a book
Yeah.
that was
If you just did it one at a time.
right. So we did 2 a month, and you shared the month with Melissa Foster, which you both had great books released this time. Two
Mhm.
of my
And
top
I love
reads
her. I
of
love her
August.
books. So
Yeah,
I saw that and I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm totally good with that pairing.
it's a really great pairing. Um, And so we that you guys were the sponsor, and we've talked on the episodes about different books of yours we think everybody should be reading. So thank you for sponsoring our swag packs.
Yes.
Um,
I'll have to do it again another time now that I have some new like mine to share, like specific stickers and stuff like that.
certain people that are part of the Patreon would not be sad about that.
Well, you shared on your Instagram because you were at Wanderlust and shared them, and I was like, oh, I really want to be there.
It was a lot of fun. Wanderlust this is my second year to be there, and they just put on such a great event. It's small and it's intimate, and so you really get a chance to really talk to each reader. You're not feeling that you're being like rushed along.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I mean, I guess there was probably about like 40 to 50 authors, maybe less than that. And so it's a really fun event. And plus it's Texas. So I know a lot of Texas bloggers and a lot of Texas readers. One of my art team members happened to be there in San Antonio randomly on a family vacation. And she bought a ticket and came and saw me.
That's
It
so
was like
sweet.
the highlight of my day. Yeah. And she's like, all right, now we're going to the Alamo. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Thank you for coming to see me. Because I talk to them all the time, on Facebook and over email and stuff. So it was really, really special to see that.
It's a bucket list signing for me. That one is one of my top in the next 2 years. Because so many great authors go to that signing, and I'm obsessed with Wander's covers, not just the ones he's on, but the ones he takes too. Like,
Yes.
He's so talented. Oh my
So
goodness.
talented.
So
talented.
Well, I was
So he took my author pictures.
Yeah.
And he was so funny during the headshot because I'm not a model. I don't do anything. So I was like taking pictures like this. He's like, why are you clawing at your face? I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. He's like, soft hands, soft hands. I was like, what did you do here?
I'd be like
struggling. Yeah. I was like awkward, but he got some really good shots because he was like working real hard. Like he earned every single dollar of that 30 minutes.
That's so funny.
Awesome.
I felt bad for him.
I'm super awkward, so I know that like pictures would be like we can't see your face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was just like, why are you doing this? He was like, smile, not with your eyes. I was like, well then how am I supposed to smile? Like he's like, smile wide. I was like,
it was like glamour shots and the
yes. I was like, oh my gosh. It was so fun though. And they turned out amazing. I don't even know how he does that.
Yeah. I kind of do want glamour shots to come back, you guys. Honestly. Because I think they're so kitschy and so funny that,
yes,
like
there's also the time. It captured a time.
Right?
The big hair, the terrible outfits. It just captured
jacket and your collar up, like
yeah.
Come on.
And the excessive makeup and just
the peanut butter makeup. That's like
yes. That is the best description I have ever heard of that in my life.
Except, okay, so, and this is so off subject, and we will get to mine to
the
share.
Book?
We will get to the book, but we have like Kennedy as a captive audience, and like I need to talk about things. So you say peanut butter makeup, and I see that. I get that. I've never been a makeup girl, but every once in a while I'll fall under like the makeup influencers over on TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. They put so many things on and like setting spray. And I remember I'm a little older, so I do remember getting my first makeup like at the end of the 80s. And all I can explain is like at the back of the Maybelline packets were like the gem eyeshadow tutorials, like how to like block your different colors of eyeshadows. And honest to God, if I tried to put makeup on, that's the only way I know how to put makeup on. I haven't done makeup since like 1993.
That's funny.
So,
working from home, I don't use much at all. I just found this amazing, like, it's like a tinted, almost like a shimmery sunscreen, and it's 40 SPF. And when I use it to do put it on and I do my TikToks, it looks like I have a filter. I'm using a filter, but I don't. Like it has like this kind of sparkle to it, It's by Super Gloop or something like that. And it's amazing.
Okay, I might have to try this because, well, although earlier this week I made a TikTok, I was talking about something, and I mentioned I had 2 kids in college, and someone commented, they're like, "You don't look like you could have 2 kids in college." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much."
Thank you.
As I'm sitting here going, "Yeah, I'm getting old lady skin." I've
Don't
gone to
worry.
the Olive Olay like old lady nightly routine.
I was doing a training, and the kid is going to work at the school that I graduated high school with. And he goes, "Oh, what year did you graduate?" And I told him, and he goes, "That's the year I was born." And I was like, "You know what? You can leave
You
now."
should leave. You should leave before you get hurt, kid.
Crap, I'm old enough to be your mom.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about Mind to Share since that's what we're kind of here for. But I'm sure
Yes.
we will not stay on topic because, well,
Probably not.
we
We
don't.
can't.
We really just don't. So you have hung out with us before, and I realized I needed to change these questions up a little bit after I look at them just now.
Hey, it's okay.
So, Kennedy, why romantic suspense? We know you love the romance. We know you love the HEA. Why romantic suspense?
Yeah, so I grew up reading. Basically, I grew up in a library. My mom loves to read. She's like me. She reads a book a day. She borrows now ebooks every day from the library. And so she really got me into reading, and she started me on Mary Higgins Clark. And I loved that. I loved the mystery, and I loved that there was a resolution in the end, however way it came. But as I got older, it was still missing. It was missing something to me, like because there was never. It seemed like in her books, like they hinted at kind of a romantic relationship, or there might be like sparks, but there was never anything else.
Yeah.
And then I got into Sandra Brown, and I was like, okay, this is my jam. This is what I love. It still has, the happily ever after in that relationship aspect, but also with the mystery piece of it. Because I need both to read a book, and especially in a series. Like I need something that's keeping me there, not just like emotional conflict, not just like, oh, I overheard him saying this and now I'm going to leave.
Right.
I need a real reason, like, oh no, I'm kidnapped, I have to leave, that kind of thing.
Okay, so
You do like a kidnapping.
I do love a good kidnapping, not on myself and not on anyone I love, but in my characters, absolutely.
there's something phenomenal about a kidnapping, and actually it's really funny because I was standing in line with Mike the other day. We were getting lobster rolls from a food truck. And I said something about, like, I think kidnapping's pretty sexy.
And everyone turns around and looks at you.
Right? I also
start holding their children a little closer.
I also was in Costco with him about a month ago, and he wanted something, and I said, "Dude, you better start selling some feet pics." And I said it kind of loudly. And again, people are like,
was it the stand-up freezer? Because at Costco, that's what I'm trying to talk my husband into. It has drawers and everything. And I'm like, your old win.
yeah.
My husband, when we were dating, we were in like Best Buy or somewhere, and there was a freezer, and he said to me jokingly, "Hey, try and climb in here. I want to see if you fit. I want to make sure I don't need a bigger one." And there were people around, and I'm laughing, and he's laughing, and nobody else thought it was funny.
Oh, I like him. I feel like that our humor would get along pretty well.
Yeah. So you do something that a lot of romantic suspense authors don't do, and I've like, at first I was like, what the hell? But now I come to expect it. There's no easing into your story. You immediately just thrust.
Yeah,
us.
I'm like, I kind of throw up like the whole serial killer aspect of it. Yeah. But that's what I need as a reader. I need, like, I don't have a lot of time to read, right? So I give a book about a chapter or two. And if it hasn't like really pulled me into, like, especially if I'm reading something that has a lot of world building and it's not like immediately like, I need to know what happens next. So that's why I try to put in my book. So something to where you're like, who is this person and why are they killing people? And do they end up getting hurt too?
But I like that because then by thrusting us, so sometimes as a reader, like you, I get a little frustrated with all the world building and the anticipation, and I like to be immersed in it. We
Yeah.
actually had this conversation on a recent episode. I was with Jenny. I think we were doing a quick shot. I find that I now know what bugs me sometimes in romance stories that are slower burns is I want the couple to be together sooner so that we can see how they're going to maneuver and figure out things
Yeah.
together. I don't want to spend all my time waiting for them to come to the realization that they're going to be together. So I want them together for the majority of my book. And with romantic suspense, I want the suspense to be like, plop me in
Yeah.
it. Don't build it up. Don't give it to me in pieces. I need to feel it all. And you do a really
Yeah.
great job of that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had someone tell me, they were like, yeah, I mean, your plots are pretty, I think they used the word convoluted. And I was like, well, I mean, that's kind of a harsh word, but sure. I mean, I guess, I mean, I'm trying to build a relationship, especially like in this book. I'm trying to build three people to come together that have never shared before. Well, one of them has. And then also trying to hide a serial killer in plain sight. So yeah, I mean, I guess it just kind of, because sometimes I like look back, I'll look at what I've written and I'm like, okay, I focused really hard on the relationship side right now. I need to look at, everyone's together for a purpose, and that's usually chasing the serial killer. So I was like, we got to get back on the profile, figure out how we're putting the clues together. Got to toss in a dead body every now and then.
Yeah.
People got to keep on moving it along.
Well, and Susie says she likes that the character was also a part of the case and not just a victim.
Yes.
So, and I do think that matters too. Now you do have had some heroines who are kind of like in danger.
Yes. I would say, Alta, Ellie, Ray. So the first three. And then Ryan in Mind to Keep was an FBI profiler. And then we had Tinley in Mind to Hold.
Well, wasn't Guarded by the Marshal, wasn't she? Was she?
That's
that's a different series.
That's a different series. Mm-hmm.
Listen, right. I am reading them, but in my true chaotic, this is who I am fashion, I am skipping all over the place. I'm like, oh, because I'm trying to read your backlist, but I'm doing it.
I love that. No, the only reason why I can rattle off all these names right now is because I was just at Wanderlust.
Oh.
And I was, and I was like sitting there talking to people about them.
Yeah.
And my best friend was like, it's Tinley. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. And then Tinley.
You need like a character map for the protection series, because I did not realize that there were 8 books, or 7 books.
Yeah.
I went back and I was like, holy cow, we've read 7 books. Like, it doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't. And I've really liked writing this series because you meet the guy for the next book in the one that you're reading right now, or the female, whatever it is. And I love doing that because I'm not trapping myself too much into one whole world and then having to be contradicting myself of like, no, they had blue hair, or whatever it is, back in book 1 and now we're in book on 19, and then you can't change anything at that point.
Right.
So
that's why I liked you. What?
A little bit on that. You scared the bejesus out of me in this book, and I won't ruin it for anyone, but you've done that where you've given us the next character, and then I was scared there for a good chunk of time that this was it, because it took us a while to get to the next person. You're gonna have to give us a heads up if this was the end, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, you're not emotionally prepared to let this series go, is what you're saying?
No, so we're gonna need a heads up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I know, we're like all talking in code without trying to like ruin it.
Kennedy is going to be like, okay, can I get a restraining order on Heather? Mm-hmm. And also, does she see a therapist? I'm going to be like,
I'm in Minnesota. I'm not coming down there. It's going to take way too long in the car.
Susie's asking how many more books.
Yeah, so right now, Mind to Share, and then I'm doing Mind to Shelter, and then there will be a third book in this clump sometime at the beginning of next year. And then I'm going to switch back over to the In Clear Sight series and do another 4 books around a new small town, witness protection small town, with Kat, that fiery marshal that we met at the end of Hidden by the Doctor.
Okay.
She's in that town. So,
Okay.
and then I'll do another 3 in this series, then probably another 4, while mixing in some in clear the SEALs and CIA series. People keep on asking me for McLovin's book, so I'll have to squeeze that in.
I really like the Marshall series, the guarded.
Yeah.
I really am
Mhm.
liking those, and I don't know, tend to be over there more than but I like the production too. So this does
Yeah.
not make me sad that we're getting a new small town and going.
Yes,
back
it's
to that.
definitely a palate cleanser for me because the protection series is dark. I mean, you're dealing with serial killers, you're dealing with, dead bodies, you're dealing with all these different things. So it's nice to kind of go flip on over to the In Clear Sight series. And yeah, I mean, it's still suspense, but it's not nearly as dark of a topic.
Yeah.
So it definitely is nice.
There's some breath catching in this series, though. You're kind of got some moments where your heart rate's a little up and you're like,
Yeah.
Wait, what? So I had some moments.
I'm glad. I'm sorry to put you through that emotional turmoil, but yeah, that makes me happy.
I'm also not like the stage 5 clinger that was like in your DMs being like, friend, Miss Ma'am.
I love
back
it.
and forth. I'm like, this book was so good. Like, I really loved Jameson, and I had a little fit. Like, what are we doing? We're not giving Jameson, and I'm really glad we didn't because, oh my goodness,
he needed his own separate identity away from them. I don't want to do any spoilers either for Mind to Love, but he definitely needed his own, and with him being such a sweet cinnamon roll emotional person, I needed someone that was going to be really dominant to offset that sweetness side.
And Rain, let me just tell you, she is freaking awesome.
Thanks. She made me laugh so many times with all of her dead people jokes. And I was like,
she's great.
I really did like the dead people jokes.
Same.
Like, I really, really enjoyed them. So
when I was first coming up with this book, I had the whole first scene of her talking, and then you find out later that she's talking to a dead person on her table. I had that whole scene in my head from like the very beginning. Like before I think I even had like a serial killer planned out. I was like, I need her to be talking to dead people. Like it's a normal conversation. I just needed that. Her name's Rain, and she needed to be kind of a hippie, and she needed to be quirky,
It kind of gave, like, I used to watch NCIS like a million years ago. So Ducky Mallard, like
oh yes,
it kind of had those same kind of quirky, their own entity vibes, but as a lady.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I loved her, and I love writing. And I mean, I don't think anyone that knows this person is watching right now. But so one of my friends was going through a pretty bad divorce, and so like I was kind of going off of some of the feelings that she was going through, like with Rain, with her ex and stuff like that, because I think it's something that a lot of women go through, and just the hardships of like the divorce process and all that, and how you come back from that later on in life. So I really liked writing her backstory too, because again, it was just a personal piece to me because of a friend.
So Karen in the chat is asking, if someone has never read your books, where is a good place to start? I will say, Karen, this series is okay to machete. I do it.
Yeah.
You can pick up, just kind of pick around, like, because honestly, you could start with Mine to Share, because I don't think I read the book previous to this. I read the one before it, and I've skipped all around because it's what I do.
Yeah, and you definitely can. So I mean, it really kind of depends on I break it down into like what you like to watch on the TV. So,
Yeah.
like if you like Criminal Minds, then start with the Protection series. And again, any book within the Protection series that draws your eye. I mean, I have Secret Babies, I have Age Gap, I have Brother's Best Friend, I have Second Chance, Creepy Cults, or if you liked that In Plain Sight show with the U.S. Marshals, then the In Clear Sight series is definitely more. It's they're a little bit shorter, a little bit steamier, romantic suspense, small town witness protection. Or if you like The Bodyguard on Netflix, then my More Than a Threat series is definitely a good one to read too. It's a connected trilogy though, so it cannot be read as a standalone.
I did read that trilogy. That was my first book, and I really
Yeah.
liked it. I really enjoyed it. So, are all her series standalones? Well, so just the that one is the trilogy, and then
Yeah,
the
so
rest.
More Than a Threat, Power Play, the Power Play series. That's a 5-book connected series that no one asked me for, and I still wrote it. I mean, it's out there. Sometimes people read it, sometimes they don't. But I think that's it. And then the other ones are like in series, but they're all interconnected standalones.
Okay, but Power Play is the one with the president, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people, I really liked that whole series. So that
I
was.
know. I had so much fun writing those two and the side characters in that book. So
Yeah.
I have not read that series. I was looking, I was like, I thought I had read everything. I have not read the Power Play series. I will say that I really like the SEALs and CIA series. Like it is
mm-hmm.
only 2 books right now, but if you're
Mm-hmm.
giving us more, they're really good.
Thank you. Yeah. So everyone's been asking me for McLovin's story. And I kind of have an idea of how I want it to go in my mind. But I feel like I'm following up Tony and Elliot, so, and she was like that crazy, who's that crazy comic book character that married the Joker, the
Oh, Harley
Joker's girl?
Quinn.
Harley Quinn. She's very Harley Quinnish, and I loved writing her. I don't know if I can follow up her with anyone just as good. So I'm gonna have to come up with a really good heroine for McLovin.
We have faith in you. I know you can do
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
I think you could do it. I
I
mean,
think I need a trip down to Coronado. Maybe that will spur some.
right. I'm in favor of a vacation for you.
Yes. I vote yes too.
Watching seals run up and down the beach.
Yeah.
It'd be very
Yeah.
inspiring.
I mean, who doesn't need a beach vacation? Honestly.
The heat is easier to handle when there's water.
Yes, 100%.
Also when there's, somebody bringing me cocktails.
That also doesn't hurt.
Like the other night, it was like 97 degrees. We had internet issues. We had to reschedule a happy hour. I got in the pool and I said to Mike, as I was walking out to the pool, I'm like, I'm going to the pool. I give up. I'll be waiting for my cocktail. He brought me like a giant strawberry margarita.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, this is just what the hot date called for.
Yes.
So in Mind to Share, this is a throuple. It's male, female, male. But this is not your first little trip into the polyamorous.
No. I dabbled in it in Mind to Love, and then I wrote the full one in Saved by the Officers, and that's in the In Clear Sight series that you were talking about. And then this is my technically third one. And I do enjoy it. I love writing because you're having to build so much into it and so much of the characters. So I really enjoy it. But the next one will be MF. So I'll probably throw in another MFM later on in the series, but the next one will be MF.
I
think
like a throuple.
I do too. And I think the way you explained it in this one was really, really great. You did it a little different with the other series, Saved by the Officers. This one you really kind of dove into why Jameson was looking for it, and then that really just made sense for all of them. I think it was really well done that way.
Oh, thank you.
Because I think sometimes people don't realize like why you would do a thruple.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but
I
Mr.
mean,
Slade is pretty freaking grouchy. Like
he
you
is.
knew it was going to take someone special to love him. Because-
Yes. He is grumpy and I love him for it. And yeah. And their whole, again, this is another one of those scenes where before I even had the book written, I had this scene in my mind of him and Jameson sitting at a bar talking about who wanted to touch each other's dicks. I mean, just like you're like, do you want to touch my dick? Like that kind of like the back and forth, like they're like trying to figure out like how this is gonna work. It made me laugh. Like in my head, which is I think why people are scared of me, because I laugh randomly to myself.
I laughed out loud at that scene. I can just picture these
Good.
two big dudes, like, and they're talking about it and like, I
I
want to touch your
know.
dick. Okay.
I know.
I want to touch yours either.
I know. So why are we talking about this? Because they're men and they love to talk about it, right?
right?
Oh.
Why'd they even bring
Or
it
show it
up?
off.
Okay, so Susie asked, would you ever consider a male-male romance?
So I've been asked that a bit. I don't know. Honestly, I would have to do it under a different pen name because
You think?
I don't know if I don't know if I don't know if a lot of my readers would be ready for that. I already got some pretty strong emails about MFM.
Feel free to send them my way, Kennedy, because I
Yeah.
will gladly tell them. Now, and I will be really honest, I do not like why choose. I struggle with one female and anything more than two dudes, and
Yeah.
I start to struggle. Um, and for me, it's a matter of I'm not great with names, and so I can't keep track. And it also, for me, like, I think it's partly because of being an old school romance reader, it doesn't feel as HEA. And I'm always searching for
Right.
HEA over HFN. Like,
Yeah.
my more satisfying reads are going to have HEAs versus HFNs. And Why Choose to me feels very HFN. Now, Mind to Share, absolute HEA. Like, I am solidly in the camp of this, this group. It works. It, has the feels that I want it to have. But so I think that people making comments about mail, feel free to send them my way.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
just say,
So
all hate mail can go to Becky because I ain't got time for this, bitches.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely interesting because I think I mean, even like me writing in first person is a struggle for some people in romantic suspense because a lot of traditional romantic suspense is written in third
it
person.
is. It's
And so
it's fun.
I think I go towards a different reader. But I also have a bunch of like the traditional romantic suspense readers that enjoy that side of it too.
So I really like your
Hard.
romantic suspense, and I actually was in a conversation with someone today because they were looking for some romantic suspense, and they had read like Julie Garwood, and I actually suggested you because when Leah and I were chatting with Julie Garwood and we were talking about her Buchanan family series, she said that one of the best parts of writing that series is when she would write the serial killer in first person, like because you would get intermittent chapters throughout those different books, and there was like 14, 15 books in that series, that the serial killers would be written in first person, and then the rest was in third, and she loved doing that. Her editor hated it, but she would not back down. She's like, it was the only time in her life when she was like, I'm Julie Garwood, I get to do what I want.
Yeah, I think you can totally throw that name drop on that for sure.
But no, I was telling somebody I like that you do that because there's such a deeper connection to the characters.
But that's what I like to read. Again, I'm writing everything that I like to read and how I like to read it. I mean, even down to how the format is in books. I mean, I'm very particular. Because I don't like anything to pull me out of the story. Do you know what I mean? When I'm reading it and I'm immersed in it, I want to completely look up and be like, oh fuck, it's 4 a.m. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm getting up in 2 hours anyways, might as well stay up. You know what I mean? I love a book that can do that to me. And there's so many things that can pull me out of it.
I often feel like if I'm like easily put it down, or I'm like trying to read the book, or I'm grabbing my phone to look at a notification or something, then that's a sign that maybe this isn't the right book for me in this moment.
Exactly. And you can always come back to it.
Yeah. I had that this week. I had to be like, this is not working for me. But then I picked up Mine to Share and I was all good. I stayed up till 2:30.
I'm like asking her, like, hey, can you hurry up and read this? Can you hurry up and read this? Because
like,
I
when
need
you
to
talk about
it.
this.
Yeah. I did. I actually finished it yesterday. Last minute.
And I love reading copies like before they're released, but then that's hard because then you're like, oh, I need to talk about this with somebody who has read this book, right? It's not like you can talk to everyone about it because you also don't want to ruin it. Like I would not want to ruin this book because we went on a roller coaster with these three, and it was a great ride, and I'm so glad we went on that ride. But I don't want someone else to miss out on it because
I definitely don't want someone to miss, like, to feel like they're like, oh, I already know how this is gonna kind of end up, you know. So I know, which makes this happy hour so hard. I'm like, I want to tell you all about it, but
we want everyone to read it and then come back and tell us that they read it. So Rain is the medical examiner. And what research did you do for medical examiner?
Okay, a lot. And did you know how much school they have to go to? And then after all of that, they have to go through like 2 years of a pathology fellowship.
Yeah.
I was like, they're dealing with dead people. It's not like they can hurt them, right? And yet they have more training than doctors.
They do, because it's an extra. So they have to go through like their full MD. They have to get their full MD. So that includes like 4 years of college, 2 years medical school, and then it's like 3 years internship, and then the 2-year fellowship of pathology. And that, so it's like what? It's 10 years, I think. And then
it's a lot.
Licensing for medical examiner varies from state to state. There's not, and then the federal, like to be a federal medical examiner, there's like a secondary tier. The only reason I know that is because our local area had a bit of a hubbub because our local medical examiner is not a certified medical examiner.
So it's a coroner. He or she's a coroner.
Yeah.
I found that interesting that most cities actually don't have one.
Yeah.
Like outside of big cities, you just have coroners.
Well, and a lot of them, the medical examiner is statewide, employed by like the state's investigation unit.
Yeah. Which is funny. The reason why I had to come up with a whole new town, Santa Costa, does not exist in California. The reason why is because I wanted it based in San Diego, but San Diego only has one medical examiner's office downtown San Diego, and it services like from there all the way up to LA. And I needed her to be in a small office for this to work. So I was like, oh, satellite office, bingo. In a town no one's heard of.
Susie just said at least they don't need. Susie said at least they don't need malpractice insurance. Medical examiners.
You might miss some stuff, but
that would have been a really funny joke, Kennedy, for her to be like, well, I'm saving money because I don't have a malpractice.
That's hilarious. Yes.
That's so funny.
Maybe I'll add that in later on, because you know how we keep on seeing Ryan and Charlie and stuff like that, and them in there. So maybe I'll have to toss Rain in to a future book.
She's very smart. Like, I think about, like, she's the one who's sort of put him on. Like, this is, this is kind of weird. I feel like we might have a serial killer, right?
Yep. She had to get Slade on board, Grumpy Slade.
Oh my! The way you describe his car, let me just tell you, there's some show where they get in this like brown like Taurus or something, and it's like
he's like mortified, right? Because he's like so bougie. Like he is like I just see him like also having like a spare tire, like on one wheel, like
And when he
just a
rolls
total
through,
piece.
it's like he knows her like here's my favorite thing too about her. She's super smart, she's funky, but girl loves her like bougie Starbucks unicorn
Yes,
drink or something.
yeah. I'm like, I think I have a sticker, one right here. That I have a picture of it. Yeah,
And you can just picture him.
like look at it.
That's so funny.
These are the stickers I just had made for.
So cute.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
That was my
I had
favorite.
so much fun writing these three because they filled in the gaps where everyone needed to.
Mhm.
But sometimes the girl just needs more than one.
Right. Well, let's talk about Mr. Slade a little bit because we talked a little bit about Jameson and that he does have a reason why he's okay with sharing, and we're not going to spoil that for anybody. Um, but Slade is super grumpy, so but
Mhm.
you do kind of like a grumpy character.
I do. I love a stoic, like, and then like the heroine is the only one that can make him like kind of grin and smile and like love life again. Yeah, I do love a good because most of them are former military or something like that, you know. So they've been through a lot and they need someone just to kind of be their joy again, you know. And I love that when the heroine can be that.
Yeah. Um, I really liked. I think that I mean I like Jameson. I think he's definitely squishy cinnamon roll, but in this book for me, Slade was the character that I was like, yeah, I like him,
Okay.
but I like a grumpy asshole, so it works.
And even his cat is grumpy. I
I
mean,
know.
and the cat has his own room. I
I
mean,
know that writing that part, I was like, oh my God, like I was just dying. Like I just picture Jameson and Rain just snickering, just like giggling behind him. Like,
your cat has his own bedroom.
I know.
I mean, animals need their space too.
Right.
Yes.
But I think too, thinking about your book, so obviously it's a heavy topic. They're trying to find a serial killer, but there's a lot of lightheartedness
Yes.
too. Like laugh out loud moments
Yeah.
that make
And
the
one
book.
of the things I enjoy writing the most, besides, you know, inventing a serial killer, is male and male banter. Guy banter to me is hilarious. That's why when my husband has his friends over, you know, or we have do couple stuff, I'm always with the guys, just sitting on the edge listening to them talk because they're hilarious. Like, and they are so crude and rude and mean to each other, but they think it's hilarious. And so I love writing guy banter because it flows naturally and they just kind of shrug everything off,
We should
you know.
never add Kennedy to our group text because there are
Yeah, and if you
times,
leave it alone, you have about 45 texts.
but they're always
Yeah.
sometimes like random. I can't even remember what day it was. It was one day a couple weeks ago. I said something like really ridiculous about man juice or something. And everyone was like, what?
It's all right. My friends get on to me all the time. They'll actually message me because I have three best friends that are alpha readers, and they'll be like, "You cannot put that word in your book." I was like, "Why? It's hilarious." They're like, "Not to girls. No, it's not funny to girls." And I'm like, "Oh, come on!" Like, yeah,
Well,
I can't
you
even
for
say
sure
it
don't want me to
because
alpha read because I would be like, that is hilarious.
Every crude
I-
word would be in if Heather was. So,
yeah,
sometimes
I
I
have
tell people
teenage
Heather
boys.
is like the teenage boy of our group.
hey, it's okay.
I have teenage boys tonight at dinner. Our conversation, my husband just looked at me and said, why are we talking about armpits?
Because they need to scrub them more. That's what they
I'm
need to
like,
do.
yeah.
We have those weird conversations.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any questions for Miss Kennedy? Okay, so mine to share is out now. This series is available in Kindle Unlimited. Yes.
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
Um.
And the first 6 books are in audio.
Okay.
And then as soon as these next 3 are written, I'll get them on um, Teddy Hamilton's calendar so he can read. So I can get the next 3 done.
Oh, is Teddy the?
Oh.
Is he does all the audio on the others?
Mhm.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so Teddy does is the male narrator for all 6 books as of right now, and then the female narrators change. I did duplicate because Maxine Mitchell read narrated for Mind to Protect and Mind to Keep.
Mm-hmm. I
But
like
the other
both
ones
those
are
people.
kind of flipped.
Those are
Yeah,
both
so
really
I
good.
met Maxine at Book Bonanza, and it was one of those things where like I was so nervous, and it's awkward because you're like, "Hey, so you read my book," and I'm like, because of her and Teddy, it was nominated for an Audie whenever they released that book in audio. And so I was like, "Can you sign my book?" She was like, "You want me to sign your book?" I was like, and I was like, "I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I love you," because I love her voice. She's
I
such an amazing, and she was so cute and tiny. And I was like, "I don't know what to do with you. You're so cute."
I love being like where the narrators are, and I'm just like, can you just keep talking? I don't really care what you read. Just please just keep talking because
Yeah.
I love it.
It's funny because we've done a couple interviews with narrators and I see the goofy side, like the not audiobook
Yep.
side. And sometimes it's a little jarring. You have to be like, okay, wait,
Yep.
I got to put that. I've seen you like,
Yeah. Well, or like I'll hear samples for audiobooks and I'll be like, "Oh, that guy's amazing. Who is that?" And it's the same guy that narrated, that I chose for the previous book, but he changed his voice to match that character so much that I was like, I would have not have guessed that they're
yeah.
the same person. And I love seeing that, like the way they can like kind of flow as long as you give them the direction. Good.
Patty
It's a
Hamilton
talent.
in person is a little bit like a golden retriever where
Uh,
you're like, where
Teddy
are you?
Hamilton in an interview is like, dude, focus. Focus. We're right here. We're right here.
Love him.
He's so funny.
You're like, chase the ball. Come on, come on.
I love him so much.
He
Oh
is
my God.
absolutely a frat boy puppy.
I love
That's
it.
why I love him. Jacob Morgan too. Like Jacob Morgan, you could read me whatever. The newspaper.
Yes.
I'm listening.
So what's next then? So we have mine to share now. What comes next?
Yes. Mind to Shelter will release December 8th.
Okay.
And that will be the guy that you meet at the end of this book.
And how
In
many
Mind to
days is
Share,
that?
you'll meet him.
And how many days is that, Heather?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't kept track. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you had your little
You're
countdown.
like, hold on.
It's on
But
my
yeah,
phone and I'm on.
Oh, it's on the
it'll
phone. You're on.
be
It's okay. It's like 111 days, you guys. Heather knows.
Mhm.
She counted.
She did, and she messaged me and it made my day. So it was great. But yeah, so Mind to Shelter will be next. And I'm excited about it. It's gonna be about that one person that I don't know if it's a spoiler or not if I mention it. Because I mean you can go look it up. I mean, I put on the pre-order who it is about and kind of some of the tropes. So a single mom, damaged hero, close proximity, serial killer, suspense, all the good stuff. So
Awesome.
it's the protection series,
Right. So there will be serial killers. Anyway, Kennedy, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Friday night.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so much fun. It's always a great time.
We love hanging out with you. Everybody, you can find the Protection series currently right now in Kindle Unlimited. And I'll be back next Thursday with author Karen Gray. And if you are interested in receiving Kennedy Mitchell swag, you have to sign up for Patreon by the 31st of August for our fancy drink or above tier. And I will send you a pack. It kicks in as soon as you sign up. So it's one of the things we do. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast, Kennedy.
Yes, thank you. And once I get some more of those Mind to Share stickers in, I'll send them your way.
Oh, that'll be awesome. We'll be super excited for that.
For sure.
Until next time, everyone, happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.